Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Giselle. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you know when I post a new video. Today, I'm gonna be exposing my college roommates. Sorry, not sorry. So if you didn't know, I spent the last 2 years in college living in a house full of random strangers that are also in college. And my entire life, I've grown up thinking college is gonna be so great. My roommates are gonna be awesome. We're gonna be best friends. It's gonna be awesome. I was wrong. I didn't have a friendship with any of my roommates whatsoever. They were just simply another body in the household. I'm gonna give you a run through of all the roommates that I've had in the last 2 years. So let's backtrack to January 2019. So the house that I was living in had 6 bedrooms. There was an upstairs level and a downstairs level. 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. On the top, there was me, this other Filipino girl, and a Colombian girl. Downstairs, there were 2 Jamaican girls and 1 vacant room. I was a new addition to the house in January of 2019, meaning the people that were already living there were kind of already set in their ways. Let's start by talking about the Colombian girl. The Colombian girl was super sweet, super nice, and she actually introduced herself to me the minute she saw me. I didn't really have any issues with her other than the fact that she would be on the phone from dusk till dawn. She told me she was taking police foundations, and I was like, cool, that's fine. But that means she gets up at 5 a.m. every single day to be out of the house for 6 to go for her physical training. Her being up at 5 a.m. only meant she started talking on the phone at 5 a.m. Who talks on the phone at 5 a.m.? I don't know if she was in a relationship. I don't know if she had some other issues going on. That girl would literally run her mouth chit-chatting away before the sun came up. And it wasn't even like it was very quiet and low-key, no. Every single time she'd have a conversation on the phone, it'd be like she was telling somebody off. But not in English, no, in Spanish. So her chit-chat conversations on the phone at 5 a.m. would wake me up every single day. Not to mention, she was pretty heavy-footed. You could hear her every move in the house. She would stomp her feet all over. So can you imagine me at 5 a.m. just trying to sleep and all you hear is and then the same thing would happen at nighttime. She would come home from school or from her job. The same thing, she'd always be on her phone. It would never stop. Ever. I do gotta give her credit though, because she was one of the best roommates I had when it came to being clean. There was just this unsaid rule that you are responsible for cleaning up your own mess. Well, let me tell you, the 2 Jamaican girls that were living downstairs were the messiest people I have ever lived with. So in this household, we had a shared kitchen space, which means all the 6 people in the house had to use the same stove. Now, the 2 girls downstairs always kind of did their thing. They never introduced themselves to me. They never said hi to me. They kind of just were just doing their own thing all the time, which was fine. What wasn't fine is the mess that they'd leave after using the kitchen. So they would cook their meal, whatever it was that day, chicken or pasta or whatever, but they would leave all their dishes in the sink. They would leave splatters of sauces and drippings of blood and guts and whatever it was. They would leave their nastiness on the counter. Now, I don't know about you, but if it's my turn to cook now and I see that there's nasty little pieces of chicken, raw chicken on the counter, no, I don't want to cook anymore. Like, no, thank you. And they would do that every single time they cooked. They would never clean up after themselves. I mean, like, you would think being a young adult, it's just common respect to clean up after yourself, but apparently it's not common sense anymore. They were super messy, not only in the kitchen, but everywhere else in the house. This house had 2 bathrooms, one upstairs and one downstairs. And when someone was using the bathroom upstairs to take a shower, I would have to use the one downstairs where the 2 girls were living. Now, this was their pretty much secluded bathroom because they were the only 2 down there. But that doesn't mean it's their bathroom. So first of all, let me paint you a picture. I would go down to use this bathroom to go pee or to do whatever. I'm like getting shivers just remembering what this bathroom looked like. There was hair all over the bathroom. I'm telling you, there was like a piece of a weave on the countertop. There were hairs all over the floor, all on the toilet seat. There were pee and blood stains on the toilet seat. There was toothpaste all over the countertop. It was just nasty. There was like mold and mildew and stuff building up everywhere. It smelled weird. It's like they really just didn't care. So that's how the bathroom looked like. Now, there was a time I desperately needed to shower because I had to leave to go somewhere and someone was using the bathroom upstairs, which is the one that I normally use. So I was forced to take a shower downstairs in the the basement. I was dreading it so much. Like, I would do anything to not shower there, but I had to. I fight through it, I body it, and I just shower. I'm pretending I'm in a happy place where it's clean and there's no smell. And then I get out of the shower, and tell me why these girls had the audacity to yell at me saying, "Why did you use our bathroom? You're not supposed to use this bathroom. This is our bathroom." Like, what? This is not your bathroom. We have a shared bathroom. Like, are you okay? So not only were these girls messy and rude, but they were loud as hell too. They would always have people over. They would always be downstairs yelling at each other. There were times where one of the girls and her boyfriend had a huge fight, and there was door slammings and things were like broken, and it was just bad. It was real bad. Let's move on to talk about the Filipino girl. So the Filipino girl, she was chill, she was fine. We didn't really talk a lot, but she was kind enough to, you know, like whenever she would order pizza with her friends, she would leave some out in the kitchen and tell me, "Hey, there's pizza there if you want it," which was really sweet. But honestly, this girl was really mean at heart. She was the type of roommate that if you were doing laundry and let's say you forgot about it for maybe like half an hour, she would take your stuff, put it on top of the washer, on top of the dryer, and start doing her own laundry, even though she knows you're not finished. She was the type of roommate that if one small thing was on her shelf in the fridge, she would throw it out instead of asking whose it was. She was the type of roommate that always had her boyfriend over, and, well, let's just say they forgot the rest of the house existed. So basically, in my first year of college, I was living with a really loud, heavy-footed Colombian girl, two really rude, messy Jamaican girls, and one super sweet but really obnoxious Filipino girl. And honestly, no one in our household got along. There was actually a time where the two girls downstairs and the one Colombian got into a fight. It got bad. It got ugly. It got so ugly I had to call my landlord and things had to be straightened out. So there was that fight. So as you can see, in this household, there was very little to no respect. And to add to that, people would steal each other's food. I'm gonna insert a picture right here of the note that was left in the fridge after March break. Yes, people stole each other's eggs. Actually, you know how many times I had my food stolen from me? I had somebody use all of my peanut butter, steal my eggs, eat my freaking almonds. Do you know how expensive almonds are? Like, no respect at all in this household. It was the most annoying thing to deal with ever, but thank God they were already in second year and I was only in first, so they were gone by August. It was so nice to know that I was done living with the loud, messy, rude people. But that only meant that now there's room for more new roommates. And that's exactly what I got. More new roommates. So the two Jamaican girls, the Colombian girl, and the Filipino girl were now gone, thank God. The roommates that I got that replaced them were already an established friend group. From my understanding, they were from Quebec, but they were Mexican. All of them were super nice. They actually all talked to me at some point in time, introduced themselves. At times they offered me to hang out with them, and it was great. It was nice. It was nice to know that I was living with people who actually see me, respect me. It was definitely a step up from my previous roommates. So I was still upstairs, and it was one guy and two girls that moved into the house. The guy stayed upstairs in the other bedroom next to mine, and the two girls got the basement downstairs. After about a month or so around like October, a new guy moves into the house, and he's a Chinese guy. So there's a total of 5 of us in the house now. So the group of Mexican Quebecois friends, they were awesome. They were clean, and they were super respectful. They told me if we ever get too loud, you know, tell us to keep it down. I must say, having the guy live right next door to me was really... it was something. So this guy had a girlfriend, and this is basically a repeat of the Filipino girl and her boyfriend. Whenever the girlfriend would come over to the house, it was like the two of them forgot the rest of the world existed. It's like they forgot I had ears. And the thing is, it would happen at all hours of the day, not just once in a while, like literally almost every hour of the day. I had Wednesdays off of school, so I would be home pretty much all day until I had to go to work. And from morning until the time I left to go to work at like 5 p.m., they were doing the nasty. And I could hear every single time they did the nasty. It just got really uncomfortable at times. There were a lot of times where I was just trying to do my homework in my room at my desk, and there was only one thin wall separating my desk and their bed, and I would hear all the details, all the wonderful details of their intimate life. You already know I purchased a pair of noise-canceling headphones, so I did not have to deal with that shit. Let's talk about the two girls downstairs again. The two girls downstairs were clean as hell. Thank you. Thank you for being clean and taking out your garbage and cleaning your bathroom and cleaning up your kitchen. Like, thank you so, so much. But the girls downstairs were partiers. They would quite often throw parties and would not even give me a heads up. So I would come home from a long ass day of school and work to a house full of random freaking strangers, and I would come home just ready to go to bed. But obviously I can't relax in my own space when there are 1,000,001 things going on. 1, music would be blaring till 3 a.m. so I couldn't even fall asleep. 2, people would be occupying the bathroom so I couldn't even get ready for bed. You know, there was actually a time where I literally had to leave again to go to a McDonald's to go piss, because all the bathrooms in my house were occupied. And 3, the next morning I would wake up to a disgusting freaking mess. I never once joined any of their parties. I mean, I really could have, but just not my crowd, you know? But I'm more of a smaller group, intimate group hangout with drinks and stuff like that. I'll never forget the time they threw a party and they had their friends over, and I heard random strangers doing the nasty in my backyard. My window was open because it was kind of warm and I just wanted some fresh air. And I was just laying in bed, and the next thing I know, I'm hearing 2 people doing it in the backyard. I was hearing everything. Why? Why does this happen to me? So that was basically the 2 party girls. Let's move on to the last but not least, and my favorite, the Chinese guy. I'm like 99% sure this guy was like an international student. Him and I never talked. I never knew his name. We just kind of passed by each other. It was a hi bye type of thing. But let me tell you, this guy was messy, obnoxious, and loud. Let's start off with his messiness. He would cook his food just like anybody else in the house, but very similar to the Jamaican girls, he would leave his mess all over the kitchen. We're talking garlic peels on the counter. We're talking bowls, forks, chopsticks, pots in the sink for days, like days, not even days, like weeks. I swear there was a time where this guy literally almost burnt the house down because when I came home from work, the door was open, the windows were open, and smoke was just flooding out of the house because he was doing something in the kitchen. So yeah, he would never clean up after himself, ever. Like, he was the type of person that would buy like chicken gizzards and hearts and livers or whatever to eat for his meals. I don't know, you do you. He would cook a portion of the liver or whatever and leave the rest there, but it would just, the blood would just start to drip in the fridge, and it was just, so gross. Just straight up, he was a slob. He never helped with anything. In the time that I was living there, he's never taken out the garbage. I've never seen him clean up after himself. So he was messy and he was loud. He wasn't loud like the other guy and his girlfriend. He was loud as in, it would be like 12 a.m. and he would be singing karaoke to the top of his lungs. This is me in the hallway or in my room listening to him sing. I'd have to listen to his beautiful voice all the time. But in addition to that, he would sometimes have his friends over and he would have his little parties / get-togethers, and they would sing collectively. So he was a singer, a really loud singer, and honestly, it got so annoying, but I just ended up learning how to tune him out. But the thing that cheesed me about him the most was that he stole my food. So in the kitchen, I had my own little cabinet with all my things. I had my own set of dishes, so that way I didn't have to share with all the nasty people in the house. I had my own food, I had my own can opener, I had like everything. I had everything that was personally just for me. And I kept track of all the things I had in there just in case someone would try and take it. And there was this one night where I got up to go get some water, and I noticed when I opened the cabinet, somebody had touched my oatmeal, my almonds, and my containers. My containers were in the sink. You don't even understand how livid I was. I went to the Mexican guy's room and I knocked on his door, and him and his girlfriend were doing the nasty, but I didn't care. I was seeing red, and I pulled him out and I said, listen, like, did you touch my stuff? And he said, no, like he was like out of it. I don't know. He was probably like drunk or high or something. and he was out of it and he said no and whatever. I believed him. And I go back into the kitchen before I knock on the Chinese guy's door, and I already knew it was him because he is the only other person in the house upstairs that cooks. The Mexican guy always buys takeout with his girlfriend, so I already knew it wasn't him, meaning it had to be the Chinese guy because he's the only other one that cooks. So I knock on his door and he's singing, and I pull him out into the kitchen and I told him, I'm like, did you touch my stuff? And he said, no. Wow, very convincing. And I'm like, no, why are you lying to me? Like, you touched my stuff. He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, so how did my containers that I never touched got into the sink? You're the only other person up here that cooks. So tell me how my stuff got into the sink without me using it. He's like, I don't know. And literally, I paged him for it. Do you think I'm dumb? Like, why are you lying to me? Just own up to it. And he started crying. He didn't admit to it, but he started crying and then he walked away. Like, guilty much? After that day, I was so cheesed and so annoyed. I wrote sticky notes and put it up in my cabinet to make sure no one touched my stuff ever again. So as a nursing student, you could only imagine how difficult it was to study, to get stuff done, to sleep, living in a household full of loud, messy, obnoxious, rude people. But hey, I survived it, and I'm so thankful that I moved back home to live with my family, who are also messy and rude sometimes and obnoxious. No, I'm just kidding. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it. Leave a comment down below if you've ever had a bad experience with a roommate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like I always say, you have the power to make the day what you want, so make it what you want it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!